Hi everyone, it's Suey here. Today I wanted to do a tag because it's Tuesday and I need to start getting in the groove of doing tags again. I was thinking I was going to do the e-reader one, but I'm going to save that for a different day. And today instead I'm going to do this readers who secretly want to write tag that I just barely saw this morning on Sue Jackson's channel. And she said it was originally created by Marlicia's Meanderings. It's a newer channel to me, so go check them both out. This is a tag for readers who are writers or want to be writers. And as you know, that fits my situation perfectly. And I wanted to give a little writing update anyway, so I thought I would combine my writing update and this tag. I can get it done quickly and put it up to date, which means hopefully not too much editing will need to be done. Number 1, are you a reader who secretly or not so secretly wants to write? So I used to keep it kind of secret, but I have decided keeping it secret defeats the purpose. So I am now very much more open about it all, doing videos about it and talking about the process I'm going through and everything. So yes, I am a reader who not so secretly wants to write. I mean, we're beyond the wanting to, and we are the doing it now. The part that we aren't figuring out is the publishing bit. The writing bit is fun and easy, quote unquote, and you can go and do it. So we can all be writers, but can we be published writers? That's where I'm at right now. And do we want to be published writers? And how do we want to be published? And it's very complicated. It's very complicated. If you are, or if you aren't, and you only are imagining, would you prefer to write fiction or nonfiction or both? So I am writing fiction right now, but I don't rule out the possibility of ever doing nonfiction. If I have some subject that I feel like I could feel like I'm an expert on or knowledgeable on, or if I have an experience I would want to talk about, then I could totally do nonfiction also. But at this point, I don't feel like I have anything that I could write a nonfiction about, unless we talk about writing a book about being a book blogger in the heyday of book blogging or something like that. Could that be a book? I don't know. I could write about that. Or writing a book about discovering K-pop in my 50s or something, you know. Would that be an interesting topic to people? Probably not. But, you know, I could write about that. I don't know. I don't know what I would write about. I haven't really experienced anything too unordinary in my life, so. But I don't rule it out. I could write a nonfiction, but right now I'm spending most of my time doing fiction stories. Number 3, do you think reading helps or hinders your writing? Why or why not? Reading absolutely helps. You cannot be a writer if you don't read, I don't think. But something that people do not think about much, reading also hinders your writing in the sense that it makes you feel 10 times more the imposter syndrome or the unworthy feeling. Because you read stuff and you're like, at least this is how I am. You read stuff and you think, this is so good. There is no way I could ever write this well. And so why am I even trying? And there's a gazillion people out there trying to do it who are better than me. And there's a gazillion people out there who have done it. And there's all these books. So why do I think I could put a book out there and have anything happen with it? So reading makes me feel way more insecure even than I already am. So that's a hindering thing. But reading also helps you learn how to craft words and what you like and what you don't like, and watching other people do it is the only way to learn, you know? So it's both, kind of, you know what I mean? Number 4, what genres of nonfiction would you choose to write? Histories, social commentary, memoirs, science, biographies, something else. And why would you choose that genre? If I wrote nonfiction, it would probably be maybe biography or a memoir of some kind. Let's do my hypothetical. If I was to do a book about book blogging in the heyday of book blogging, we're talking 2010, 2011, 12, 2009, that era. That would be a memoir, right? So I would say probably memoir kind of thing, or essay kind of thing, or anecdotes, or, you know, do a nonfiction book about my grandparents or something like that. I've already compiled my grandparents' life stories and their histories, whatever you want to call it. their autobiography. That's not really writing because I just compiled it. But if I was to take their story and write a memoir about it, that would maybe be a different thing. I don't know. But it definitely would not be science, histories. I don't know. Maybe social commentary. I don't know. Who knows what I would do? Travel writing. Travel writing would be great. Fun. And I even took a class once about travel writing because it sounded so much fun to me. And I thought it would be great to write magazine articles and traveling with kids and stuff like that. I just got done with a big road trip. Go check out my vlog if you're interested. And we traveled across the country in a car, 2 weeks worth pretty much, with a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. So I could still write about that kind of thing. Those kids did great. They did great. So I don't know. It's not that hard to travel with kids. You can do it. I could write a book about it, right? Number 5 is, what fiction genres would you choose to write? Fantasy, mystery, historical fiction, sci-fi fantasy, science fiction, something else, or maybe a combination. I don't have any stories in my head for fantasy or mystery. Those ones I feel like would be, a lot of people write fantasy, but I'm not that imaginative, I don't think. But I have done the science fiction one, space opera one, which this is my kind of little writing update I want to get in. This past week, I sent that out for beta reading, which is one of the scariest steps ever as a writer, is once you feel like you've got it done, then you need people to read it and tell you what needs to be fixed. And so that's what I've done this past week with my science fiction / space opera one. Yeah, and if anybody is interested in that, let me know, because I'm willing to send it to anyone who wants to be part of the process. Anyway, so science fiction, that's the one I'm working on right now, and also historical fiction, because I've got the 80s book, which I'm kind of turning into a graphic novel and maybe self-publishing that. That's my idea on that one. I'm thinking of it kind of like Wimpy Kid books, where it looks like somebody's written and there's doodles all over. So, but these are notes back and forth between 2 girls in high school in the 80s, and I don't think anybody's going to ever publish it, but I think it would be fun to self-publish it and actually get a physical book in my hand and give them to my friends that lived this stuff with me. Writing more contemporary stuff, romance, sweet romance, contemporary, that kind of thing is what I want to do. And maybe try to figure out how to maybe think of a fun middle grade. I would like to try that. Number 6, who would you name as your influences in writing? I don't know. When I was first starting to write, which was years ago, I always thought it'd be great to have a style of writing like Meg Cabot, like The Princess Diaries. Now I want a style like Casey West, or Janet Rawlinson is a great one too. Real fun, funny YA rom-coms, sweet stories, sweet romances. I have often said that I would love to learn how to write like V.E. Schwab. Her way with words is mind-boggling, or like a Sabaa Tahir or a Tahira Mafi. Those guys I all look up to because I love their style of writing. It's not going to happen, but it's somebody that influences and you look up to, aspire to be like, I guess. Number 7, do you think person should stick to writing what one knows, or especially in the case of speculative fiction, do you think a person can just make it all up as long as one stays consistent within the story? This is a funny question to me, because how are you going to write anything if you don't make stuff up? That is the whole point of a fiction book. You are making it up. So yes, let's write stuff we make up. I've been to many conferences where an author will get up and kind of diss on the whole idea of write what you know, because there's no way you can know the stuff that you write about. You make it up. You can write stuff that might be familiar to you. Like, for instance, I just mentioned the 80s book. I'm writing stuff from the 80s that I lived. That's what I know. So I wrote that, but I made stuff up. I based things on some general experiences, but I made up characters. I made up instant things. I made up stuff, right? And, like Brandon Mole said at a conference, how could he write about dragons? He doesn't know anything about dragons. So he can't write what he knows if he wants to write about dragons. Yeah, you got to make stuff up. in fiction. But in nonfiction, let's hope people aren't making stuff up. Okay? Number 8, do you feel that profanity, graphic violence, and adult situations are overused in writing? I got to be honest and say that sometimes I do. I do sometimes. If it makes sense for the story and you're not trying to do something for shock value, it's all fine. But if you are trying to hit a button for people or, like write to what you think people want and overdo it, or if you use like too much profanity just because you're too lazy to think of another way to write stuff. Yeah. So there's a line there and I don't know how to articulate it. It makes sense for the story and it makes sense for the character and in whatever is going on. It's fine. But if it's blatantly in your face, I don't like it so much. Number 9, do you feel that books should have warnings like in movies so readers know what to expect? This is a tough one too because I feel like some readers would love to know what to expect, but I feel like it's so subjective that we cannot necessarily rate them like we do movies, which is also subjective, and it's kind of a problem there too. I feel like, you can look things up where people have blogged about it and given you trigger warnings. That's stuff that's in a book. I feel like that's perfectly fine. Sometimes I've even seen books say in the first, in the, what are those pages called at the beginning of a book? They'll say trigger warnings and it's got this content included or something so that you can kind of be prepared if you're worried about that kind of thing. So you would just need to trust people in your life who are readers who read stuff and can tell you what you may or may not like or may want to stay away from. But I really don't think we should have ratings on them because that is going to open a can of worms and start getting into the realm of censorship and other people telling us what we can and can't read, which is something we need to stay far, far, far away from. Does that answer that question? Tag others. I'm tagging, who are the writers that I know? Kat, Nicole, MJ maybe. Can't think of who else right off the top of my head. So I will tag those 3 and anybody else I think of that I feel like is trying to do this writing thing. One other thing I wanted to say for the writing update part of this is that there's no more NaNoWriMo, which I really am sad about. So instead, we got to figure our own thing out. And so my writing friends and I meet in real life with a couple of writing friends. Our Nano is going to be in October, which is the time of this taping, starting tomorrow. And we are going to push hard to finish the draft of whatever we're working on. And I'm going to forget about my space opera now. It's off to the beta readers. But now I'm going to work on a book called The Adventures of Samantha Sawyer, which is a story about a girl who takes this tour group on a trip across Europe and all the crazy things that happen. It's supposed to be funny and lighthearted, and she ends up getting a guy to help her who comes along with them that she finds in Austria, and they fall in love. And I hope I can make it be as funny and bantery as I envision it in my mind. I've started it a little bit with a nano project, 8 years ago or something. So I have maybe 20,000 words written of it so far. So the plan in October is to finish that draft. So there's my writing update for you. Working on that, trying to finish up the little graphic 80s novel, figure out how to self-publish that, and then waiting for beta reader feedback on this space opera one. I'm determined to do something with this and stop talking about it and actually do something. So you might hear more and more about it because it's kind of to the top of my pile right now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm tagging those few people, but if you're secretly a writer and I don't know it, then this one's for you for sure. Let us know all about it. Until next time, happy writing and reading. Bye.